So thanks everyone for joining our end of October webinar, Project Online Administration with FluentBooks. We're going to talk about FluentBooks in the context of change management, application change management of Project Online or Project Server. So just to put you in context, we have our customer success wheel of products. We try to deliver value to all of you through our services, our products, our cloud services, and today we're going to be talking about FluentBooks. But I also want to introduce that we're moving towards a concept of having a suite, an online suite of products where you're going to be able to accomplish some of the same capabilities that you have today with some of the individual cloud services that we provide. Now, FluentBooks is for all of you that currently have the product as a client. So we'll be talking a little bit today about how we're going to evolve that into an online service through what we're calling governance and administration. We introduced this a few weeks ago in our backup webinar, and today we'll give the second part of that, which is, what is the administration side of the governance administration suite. So just to put everyone in context, and a couple of points on our perspective on administration of Project Online. The leading organizations will consider Project Online or Project Server an application just like any other, and will dedicate the time and the process to maintain it formally in order to continue to add value. The reality is that adoption in an organization is evolutionary. It takes time. There's many changes in organizations that take place, whether it's leadership, whether it's important to the PMO more or less, and subsequently that drives changes to Project Online, Project Server that have to be managed. And from a IT operations standpoint, the application owners need to take this into account, and the more you can be proactive in addressing changes to Project Online or Project Server, the more value that you're going to be able to provide through the application to the organization. So we really want to stress that where we've seen organizations that have the most success with Project Server and Project Online are the ones that have document the formal process for receiving changes to the Microsoft PPM application, and then putting them through, going through testing, and then presenting them to the end user for acceptance and release. So what we're going to talk about today is how you can use the FluentPro FluentBooks product and the Feature Gas product to accelerate and enable this. So for those of you that haven't seen it before, we're going to show you today FluentBooks. It's a high-level architecture overview here, fairly straightforward in terms of what it accomplishes. Basically, you have a client that resides on a machine. Usually it's an administrator. In fact, it is an administrator that has the ability to log in, and you will have a source PWA that you connect to, and a destination PWA once you do the operations that you see on the side. So you're always going to be downloading either content or configuration into the client, performing actions with the content or configuration, and then having a target PWA that you're loading those changes back up to. And you can see here that we have the compare and upload configuration actions there. The tool has a number of wizards, and we have a pretty in-depth demonstration today of how that is accomplished. So here's just another diagram. FluentBooks is used, as all of you know, for migration of data. So in order to do that, just highlighting another important value of the tool, which involves downloading the data into a workspace. And this is of value because you can save this for future usage. The workspace in particular can actually store the configuration itself. So one of the values of documenting and saving that configuration for whatever reason, it could be disaster recovery, it could be security, it could be compliance, you can do it through the tool. You're going to review items in that workspace and then select the ones that you want to upload, and then go through and actually perform the upload to the target PWA. So you can see that it does require being connected to the cloud, obviously, or to the network if you're talking about a project server environment that's on premises. And it's local storage. You can put it on the local machine or on a network store. And it has to be a PWA admin and SCA admin. So that's really important. We have scenarios where folks say, well, can I actually have a strong user and a PMO make use of this? Well, we don't recommend it. This is really an administrator tool. You could be creating havoc within your configuration by not being trained properly on the usage of the tool. So before we go into it, I just want to highlight these are there's around 20 major use cases that or capability areas that the tool manages, and we'll show some of them today. But basically, there's a lot of depth for an admin. Anyone that is managing large instances with a very dynamic environment and a PMO that's requesting changes will want to have FluentBooks and our gas product in order to deliver value to that PMO. The quicker that you can get the changes made and approved, well, less work for you, but really more time to address the higher value administrative tasks like planning, changes and managing overall environments. So trying to remove some of the time sink in doing these administrative activities while performing changes, so you can again focus on the higher value administration. So I'm going to turn it over to Irina, who's going to walk us through the main scenarios that we're going to cover today, and I just list them here just to give her a little bit of advertising. She's going to go through in detail all of these, but we begin with documentation, so you know what's actually within the PWA configuration, and you can distribute it. We have an audit feature that was added this year, and we're going to continue investing in that, as I'll show later in our roadmap slide. You can compare PWA configurations, and here the context is you have a dev or a test environment that you want to see what's the latest build that you have in there from a configuration standpoint. You can compare two PWAs and see the differences. Once you go through that, you can change, add custom fields and lookup tables, which are, we're trying to address you the most common scenario. But there's an RBS change, organizations change, and you need to change any of the lookups. You can go ahead and do that through the tool. Correspondingly for resources, if there's rate changes, custom field, resource custom field changes that need to occur, you can do that without having to go individually to each resource. Similarly for projects, once custom fields are updated, you can bulk update projects, fairly common scenario once changes are made to a configuration. Bulk publishing of the project, so once you make those changes, you need to go ahead and publish in order to take that take effect and for that to be reflected in the database. And then similarly, bulk update of SharePoint sites. Here, you can do a wholesale change to a list, for instance, and then apply it to all of the sites. This is another area which we're going to be also investing further in order to enhance SharePoint management capabilities. So with that, I will transfer it over to my colleague.
So we will start with documentation of PWA configuration. As Jose mentioned, so the first step of our change management cycle will be to evaluate, will be to understand the current state of configuration, and we will do this as part of analysis of the change management. So documentation of PWA configuration functionality, it was designed to help a user to document a PWA configuration to an Excel file, and use it for your future reports. Or, for example, in this way, you can easily review what is present in the system at the moment, and maybe some elements need to be changed, so it's very easy to do and to check with the help of FluentBooks. So I will switch to the tool. The documentation wizards, they are located at the wizards option. If you open this option in FluentBooks, you will see two options for documentation. You can document workspace configuration and document PWA configuration directly. So I will select this one. I will show you how you can document PWA configuration from your PWA directly. So on the first step of the tool, we will need to provide our PWA URL and credentials. This will be the PWA where I would like to take information and to document it to the Excel file. You will need to also select elements that we would like to document. You can select them all at one go and document everything, and then review the current state of the whole PWA configuration, so to say. Or you can just select the elements that you would like to document right now. I will select custom fields, lookup tables, and let's say projects, or maybe resources from just to see how it works. So as you are ready with the selection, you can click Generate Documentation button, provide the file name, and click Save. FluentBooks will download PWA configuration from the PWA that you provide here, and it will save it into Excel file, and in a few minutes this Excel file will be opened for us, and we can review all the elements there. So this functionality, it will help you save time greatly, because of course, if you try to type in all this information manually into the Excel file, it will take hours, and with the help of FluentBooks, it will take a few minutes. Of course, the speed depends on the volume of PWA configuration, but even if you select all sections, it shouldn't take long. So I will click Close, and Excel file will be opened for us. It will be opened on the summary screen, and here we can review all the elements that we have selected for documentation purposes, and we can also click on every sheet here and review each element in details. So we will see all the custom fields. They will all be present here, and so you will see the information for all custom fields, for lookup tables, and lookup values will be also present here if they are if you have them on the PWA. We also have resources, like each resource like separately. You will see all resource fields here, and the information for all fields that you have on the PWA will be also present here. We also have the all resources list, and this screen will show you the general information for your resources. So from here you can easily understand like what you have in the system, and maybe use this file later for your reports, or just analyze what is going on the configuration level on your PWA right now. So I will close this file, close this wizard, and I will proceed to the next step, if you don't mind. And the next step will be to talk about configuration audit. And this is one more option on how we can evaluate what we have in the system. Well, like this is the next step of our change management cycle, and we will be analyzing the state of our PWA configuration again. But with the configuration audit, we will have more information on what is used, and like what is working in the system, what is going on, and maybe what is not working, and how we can like change the elements if we want them to work properly. So I will open the tool again, And again, this wizard is located in the wizards option. It is called Configuration Audit. As soon as you open this wizard, you will have to you will see three options. You can select the information from the current workspace. You can load the information from the workspace from file, or you can use it directly from the PWA. If you select the PWA option, then you will need to provide your PWA URL and credentials, the PWA where you would like to take this information. And if you have downloaded the information from PWA into the workspace file, then you can use either of these options. We will also need to provide the file name where this information will be saved. So I will provide the file name, let it be Audit Demo, and click Save. And as soon as we provide PWA URL and the file name, we can go next, and FluentBooks will perform the audit of our PWA configuration and will show us the result at the end. It will also be the Excel file. So this functionality, it allows to review the configuration, and you can easily see what's working in the system and what's not. You can easily keep track of the use of PWA configuration, including custom fields, lookup tables, EPTs, workflow stages, project templates, and PDPs. Again, depending on the volume of your PWA configuration, the time will depend on the volume mostly, but again, it shouldn't take long, and we will be able to review all these elements and see if they are used properly or not. So as soon as it is complete, we will receive an Excel file showing us how these elements are used in the system and if they are used at all. So please allow the wizard a few more seconds. As soon as it is complete, FluentBooks will ask if we would like to open the result file. We will say yes. And here we will see, like each of these sheets, it represents the data on different entities. So the first 7 sheets, they will show us the data on enterprise project types, workflows, stages, PDPs, lookup tables, fields, and project templates, if there are any. And on these sheets, you can find information of general usage of these entities. For example, if I open lookup tables, then I can see like lookup tables, they can be used in custom fields, in projects, and they can have some values. So I will see all this information here for the first lookup table, for example, if it has any values, if it is used in fields, if it is used in projects. And FluentBooks will set the will prompt you if you need to pay attention to this custom field, or lookup table, or workflow, or anything. If it doesn't have any values, for example, or if it is not used in fields or projects, then FluentBooks will say if it requires any additional attention or no. So if at least one condition is not met, then FluentBooks will suggest paying attention to this lookup table to make sure that it is used, that it has values. And on the last 5 sheets, you can find information regarding the usage of PDPs, EPTs, fields, stages, and views. And here it will be taken into account another entity as well. So for example, if I open the PDP vs EPT section, then I will see, I can check which PDPs are applied in any specific EPT. So it's easy to check here. We will see the EPT names here and the PDP names here, and we can easily check where it is applied. So for example, if I open field vs views, I can also review the information for fields and views, like what fields are populated in PDPs. So as soon as you review this like the state of your configuration. You can decide if you need the elements at all, like the elements that are not used and require your additional attention. For example, if they are not used at all, then maybe you can decide to change the information for them, or to delete them if you don't need them at all, for example. So I will close this file and click Finish on this wizard, and we will go to the next step. On the next step, we will review our PWA configuration in the context of two PWA environments. So, for example, you are working with the development environment and production environment, and FluentBooks can help you understand what data needs to be, like what data has been edited on the development environment and needs to be promoted to the production. You can easily understand what is missing from production environment. You can see the data that has been recently modified or added on the development environment, and maybe decide if it needs to be present on the production and promote only this information. So again, this functionality allows to update production environment only with the information that is missing, and you don't need to remember what you add or edit on the development environment. You can just easily verify this with the help of FluentBooks, and then update production with new information. So I will open FluentBooks again, and again, these wizards, they are located in the wizards option. We have the compare workspace with PWA wizard and compare PWA with PWA1. I will select this one, provide the PWA URLs of my production environment and development one. Well, actually, it will be vice versa. This is my development environment and this is my production. I will click Select Entities option, and you can also select all sections here and select everything at one go and compare everything within your PWA configuration. I will select only a few elements so we don't spend a lot of time here, so I will just select custom fields, lookup tables, and let's say projects. Click OK and compare button. FluentBooks will download PWA configurations from both development and production environment. In this case, right, as an example, and will show us the summary screen, and on this summary screen we will be able to see and verify what elements have been recently edited, modified, or added, or like if there are any elements that are full match there, that already are present on development and production and don't require any additional like any additional attention from our side. So here in this, while the wizard is in progress, you will also always be able to see what data is being processed at the moment. You will be able to open the log file and review, like track the current session, and you can also see the elapsed time, and also some wizards show the remaining time as well. So as soon as it is complete, we will be able to see the verification summary. So I will click close here as soon as I see it is complete. And we will see the PWA verification summary, and here we can see some general information for custom fields, lookup tables, and projects, how many are missing, how many elements are new and modified. And we can also click on every tab here and review the information in details. So the elements that are present both on the development and production environment and that are full match, FluentBooks will set them as a full match or identical. These elements, they don't require our additional attention, so we can just click on the Show Differences Only checkbox and review only the elements that are different or missing. So I can see that a lot of custom fields are missing from my production environment, and some of them are different. Also, we can review the lookup tables in the same way. We can see, for example, that this lookup table has different values, and we can see these values. They are actual names, and we can review our project as well and see if there are any projects that are missing or different. And I can also see that I have some projects on my production environment, but I don't have on my development environment. If I need these projects here, I can also add them quickly with the help of FluentBooks. What we can do here, we can generate difference package. We have two options here to generate difference package for source modification and generate difference package for target modification. And what it means. If you decide to, here the source environment is our development environment and target environment is our production one. So if I decide to generate difference package for target modification, FluentBooks will create a workspace for us, and this workspace will include all the elements that are present on the source environment, our production environment in this case, and I will be able to review them in the workspace again and decide what elements I would like to add to the production. Here, as with projects, for example, I see that there are some projects that I have on the production, but I don't have them on the development environment. So if I need this information to be added to the development, I can generate difference package for source modification and add these projects only to the development environment. So I will decide to generate difference package for target modification. I will provide the workspace name and click Save. And as soon as we create this workspace, FluentBooks will say that this workspace was created successfully. And from this screen, we can also decide to export this report to Excel file. Let's do this as well, because this can also save you some time. It doesn't take a lot of time. FluentBooks will quickly generate this Excel file, this report, and as we click yes, it will be opened for us. And it is very detailed. You will see the source and target PWAs that you provide and you selected for this comparison. You will see the number of the fields, the number of identical fields missing, new, if there are any errors, modified, etc. And you can also review them in detail. So if I click on the fields option here, I will see the details, like if they are different, for example, then I will see the details on how they differ. So I will click Close here. I will close this wizard. As soon as we have this workspace generated, we can open it. So I will go to the Open option, select the workspace that we have just created, Workspace Demo. I will open it. And this workspace, it will include only the elements that are different or missing from my production environment. So here I can review them again as well. So I can review the lookup tables, projects. I can also modify the view of my projects. For example, I can add several fields here. Let's say last modified, project owner, for example, project department. Click OK and review the information for these fields before I upload them to the production if needed. I will select a few custom fields and lookup tables to make it faster. But if you need all this information to be present on the production, you can select everything and upload everything at one go. I will select just a few custom fields, and one lookup table was selected automatically. It is dependent from the custom field, so it is selected as well. So I will go to the File menu. Select Export option, select to upload configuration to PWA, provide the URL of my production environment and credentials, and go next. Select custom fields and lookup tables, go next, and upload this, like promote these changes to my production environment. So as you can see, this functionality, it allows you to quickly verify what are the differences between your test and production, or development and production, and then upgrade to the production environment, like upload only the elements that are missing there, or that are different in any way. Also, from this progress bar, we will be able to see if the process is complete. And as it is complete, we can click close and review the summary screen, like verify if the upload was successful. You can also export this report to Excel file and use it for your reports later. And I will click finish, and again we can run another comparison. If you upload everything to the production, you can just run another comparison with FluentBooks and see if this information is now present there. I have selected only a few elements for this upload, so I will just refresh my production environment and check if these fields are now present here. So I have uploaded department, justification, location, and the location lookup table as well. So everything is now present here. So let's go to the next step. I'm sorry. So the next step, on the next step, I would like to show you how you can perform the bulk edit of lookup tables and custom fields. As Jose mentioned, there can be a few scenarios. For example, the organization has changed and we need to add or edit several fields or lookup tables, and it can be easily done in a bulk with the help of FluentBooks. So we can actually add or modify data on the PW environment using FluentBooks, and you can perform these changes again on the development environment. First, verify that everything is in place there, and then promote them to production using FluentBooks. So I will open, let me open my PWA and show you that I don't have this information here. So I will be working with this environment right now, and I will be adding new custom fields, new lookup tables here, and I will edit the existing lookup table and custom field. So the first step we will need to do here is to download everything into FluentBooks Workspace. Yes, we are ready to proceed. So I will select to download PWA configuration. I will provide the PWA URL and credentials of the PWA where I would like to take this information. Go next. I will select only custom fields and lookup tables right now and download them into the workspace. As soon as we have this information in the workspace, we can select which lookup tables and custom fields we would like to edit, and we will export them to Excel file. In this Excel file, we can modify the existing custom fields and lookup tables and add new ones. So as you click finish, again workspace will be opened for you, and here you can review the elements that were downloaded first and select the ones that you would like to edit. So I will select one custom field and one lookup table for editing purposes, and I will add a few new custom fields and lookup tables. So as soon as you select the data that you would like to edit, you can go to the export option, select to export workspace data to Excel, provide the file name here, select custom fields and lookup tables, and click export. It will be done very quickly. So as you click close, this Excel file will be opened for you, and here you can add or edit the existing information. So I will add, let me edit first. So I will edit the existing lookup table. I will add a few values here. For example, I will add this one and one more value. to the existing lookup table, to the lookup table roles, and I will associate this lookup table with the custom field as well. Next, I will create new lookup tables. I would like to create a few new project like lookup tables for project level custom field and for resource level custom field. So I will create a new lookup table called location. It will be of a text type, and I will select the sort rule as well. And one more, let's say language. And again, so let's say the organization is bigger now, and we need to add location and language as well. So I will go to the lookup values. I will provide the name of these lookups, and I will add, let's say, New York here, and maybe we are now located in London as well, and maybe Paris. As an example, I will add values here, and so you can just use, if you're doing, I'm showing you on the very small amount of data, so we don't wait for a long time. But of course, if you're working with a lot of custom fields and lookup tables, then you can use Excel tools. Here, let's say it will be English and French. And here it will be English, French. So, and I will also add a few a few custom fields that I will not associate with the lookup table. So I will add the location custom field, the language custom field. I will also add department one, and project status, for example. Sorry. So I will associate these custom fields with the appropriate lookup tables. And I will add values in a bulk for them. So this will be, the location will be a project level custom field. This one will be a resource level custom field. And project again, they will all be of a text type. So I will just bulk select the rest of the values to make it faster. So I will set this all to none. Let's see. So I will populate all the values here quickly and proceed. And maybe the last one. So as soon as we are ready with the editing of this Excel file, we can click Save and close this file and close this wizard. The next step will be to go to the Import option, select the Import Workspace Data from Excel option, provide the same file name where we have just performed changes and save them, click Import, click Close, and we will see that these custom fields and lookup tables appear in the workspace. So we will see location, custom field, and we will see the appropriate lookup table as well here. So I will select the roles, language custom field, and project status, for example. The lookup tables, they were selected automatically. And now we can upload this information to our PWA, like to update it with these changes. I will go to the Export option, select Upload Configuration to PWA Wizard, provide my PWA URL and credentials where I would like to add this new information. Go Next. I will select only custom fields and lookup tables and upload them to my PWA. Again, I'm working with a very little amount of the data, so it will be fast to do. But even if you select like more custom fields and lookup tables, it will be still easier to do with the help of FluentBooks and opening each element one by one and modifying it on the PWA. So Excel file allows us to do it in a bulk. And on the next step, we will add values to these fields that we have added to the new fields. So as it is complete, I click Close. We can review if the upload process was successful, click Finish, and we can now verify if the information appears on this PWA. So as you can see now, language custom field, and it was associated with the corresponding lookup table, location, project status, and roles also. This information was changed. So I will open another PWA where I have already added these new custom fields to the appropriate views to make it faster. And we will now add values to these fields. So I will be working with the resources first. So we will first update resource fields. So with the help of this wizard that I will be working with right now, we can update resource fields, and also we can edit resource rates as well. I will open FluentBooks again. I will go to the wizards option and select the resource bulk edit wizard. You can also perform the same with projects. I will select resources for now as an example. Select the appropriate PWA, the one that where I would like to perform these changes. I will include out-of-box fields as well. Go next. And I will update my resources with new information. So I will select a few resources and update them at one go. I will go next, select new custom fields that we have added, department, language, and let's maybe select RBS as well, the existing one. Let's go next. Here we will need to provide the file name. It is provided as per default, but you can change it if needed. And as we click Prepare Data for Edit, FluentBooks will create this file, and this Excel file will be opened for us, and we will be able to edit the information there and populate the values for our resource fields at one go. So as we click Open Data for Edit, Excel file will be open for us, and we can type the information. So I will just apply, like populate the values for this field, for the language one, and maybe the RBS I will set differently, different levels, so we can review. So I will also assert resource department, and as soon as you are ready, as soon as you add the necessary values to these fields, we can save this file, close it, and click Load Edited Data, and then go to the next step. As you click Next, FluentBooks will start uploading this data to the PWA that we have provided in the beginning, and the values for these fields will be populated for the resources that we have selected for this process, for this update process. On the next step, I will also show you how you can update project fields, but I will show you how you can do this using separate wizards. And it also can be a good use case, because when you use separate wizards for the same purpose, for the bulk update purpose, it gives you more control over the process, and you can later decide where you would like to upload these changes, to your development environment or to production one. And this can be done with resources and with projects as well. Yeah, like you can use one wizard or separate wizards. So we'll click Finish and open my PWA. I don't think that I have set the correct department field. Yes, I didn't select this the correct department field, but as you can see, the values were populated here for RBS and language. I selected resource department instead of department. My mistake, I apologize. So on the next step, I would like to show you how you can perform the same with projects. And as I have mentioned, we will be working with separate wizards. So I will open FluentBooks again. I will go to the import option, select to download PWA configuration from the PWA where we would like to perform, like to take the information from and change it. So I will select custom fields, lookup tables, and projects. Go to the next step and download these elements into the workspace. As soon as we have this data in the workspace, we can export it to Excel file and edit it. These steps, they are very similar with the ones that we performed with custom fields and lookup tables, but now we will take projects and we will populate like the values for project level custom fields in a bulk. So as soon as it is complete, we will click Close and Finish here, and our workspace will be open for us, and here we can select the projects that we would like to change information for, let's say these projects. I will go to the File menu, click Export, select to export projects to Excel file. The projects are already selected because I have checked their checkboxes in the workspace. So I will go Next and select the custom fields that we have just created. I will select location, project status, and that's it, just as an example. Again, you will need to provide the file name where this information will be saved. Click Export, click Close, and open this Excel file. Now we can add values. I'm sorry. For example, we will set different values here. And project status, I will set just as an example like this to make it faster. It doesn't have any lookup associated, so I will just populate different statuses there. So I will click Save, close this file, click Finish here, go to the Import option, select to import projects from Excel. We will need to provide the same file name where we have just added the values for these custom project fields, and click Import. This information will be added to the workspace, and if I select any project, let me add location and click Add, and then I will see that these values, they are now present here in the workspace. And the last step for us will be to select projects that we have added values to the custom fields and lookup tables for, and upload this information to our PWA. If you don't mind, I will skip this step to make this whole process faster. So as you can see, these values are now present in the workspace, so we will just upload them to the PWA, and I will skip this step and go to the next one to make it faster, just not to waste our time today. So the next functionality that I would like to mention is the bulk publish projects functionality, and this functionality will help you to publish a significant number of projects without a necessity to open and manually publish each of the projects. And here are several cases when you might need to publish a significant number of projects. For example, let's imagine that there are a number of projects with tasks and assignments, and if we change cost in resource rates for one resource, costs won't be updated in projects automatically, and all projects will need to be opened and republished to update costs in the projects. And of course, this can be done manually one by one, but it will take a significant amount of your time and effort. And but with the help of FluentBooks, you can just launch this process, and it will be all the projects will be published automatically. Also, formula fields are being calculated during publish. So if there is a need to calculate the formulas in a significant number of projects, then we can also do this with the help of FluentBooks. I will not launch this wizard again to make today's session faster, because this wizard is very easy to work with. It is located in the wizards option, and you will need just provide the PWURL credentials and just launch the process. And your projects will be, select the projects that you would like to publish, and they will be published automatically. The last step that I would like to mention today will be the bulk update of SharePoint sites. FluentBooks can help you update one or multiple SharePoint sites on a specified PWA. If you add, for example, any new information to one site on your PWA, you can then update other sites with this information very quickly. So, for example, if you add a new column to risks or issues, if you add a new list, if you add a new document to document library, you don't need to open each site one by one and add the same information there. You can just update it with the help of FluentBooks quickly. So on one of my PWAs, I have added a new custom list to my sites. And I don't have this information on other sites. So I will take this custom list and I will upload this information to other sites on the same PWA. For this purpose, I will go to the import option first. I will select to import SharePoint sites, provide the name, the PWA URL and credentials for this PWA. I will test connection in advance, and I will download only this new custom list from the site where I have added it. I don't need anything else, so I will just select this site, go to the next step, and I will select only this new information that I have recently added and I want it to be present on other sites as well. So I will open list, select only this custom list, new one, and go next. FluentBooks will load this data into its workspace, and as soon as we have this data in the workspace, we will be able to update other sites with the same information. Again, this will save our time greatly and our effort, because we don't need to open each site one by one. We will just update them in a bulk. We will just launch the process, and FluentBooks will update them automatically with this new information. I will say no. Click Finish, and we can review this information in the workspace before we take it to other sites. And we will click Export option, select the bulk export SharePoint site wizard, provide the same. Here you can actually select where you would like to add this information, what PWA you would like to use, and like if you need it on the same PWA but different sites, or you wanted to promote to add this information to a different PWA. So I will select this custom list, go next, and on this step you can select the sites like site URLs. Well, I don't need actually these ones, where you would like to add this information. I will select just a few and go to the next step, and this information will be uploaded to the sites that I have selected as well. And this new custom list, it will be present on all sites that you select. FluentBooks will update all sites with this new information at one go. So I think I will maybe give the right to present to Jose again, and because we have very little time left.
Thank you, Irina. So just want to cover a couple more slides. I know we're over our time. Thanks for those that have stayed. So FluentBooks does have a roadmap, and I'm showing here some of the things that we're going to be working on the remainder of this year and next year. We want to add more credential management capabilities to the tool for Project Online specifically. In terms of our user interface, more one-click wizards and operations, so that you don't have to go through some of the import-export individual steps. SharePoint apps are now important in tenant migrations, and will continue to be, so we want to add the capability to do those within the tool. For some time, we've had requests to enhance the SharePoint content management migration capability, so we're going to spend more time making it more of a level set tool for SharePoint content migration. These are things that have been in our backlog for some time, so we're going to try to pull them through and complete them. We see the tool moving more into validation and verification, so there's going to be capabilities to do that after migrations. And then in terms of the audit report, as a value add to the admins for measuring usage, more depth in terms of metrics for configuration audits. So those are, for the FluentBooks client itself, those are capabilities that we'll be adding. Now, in terms of more lighter weight administration that doesn't require the heavy client, I stated earlier that we're going to be launching the Governance and Administration Suite. And as I stated in our backup webinar a few weeks ago, that will be a combination of our backup and configuration admin capabilities. So you see here that I have a slide of a very simple user interface that kind of shows for individual environments what you're going to be doing. And within each, you can do what you currently do in backup, which is backup your project sites, and your configuration, and also archive, which is becoming an important use case, which is taking closed projects and literally moving them to an archive PWA. So on a schedule or ad hoc basis, that is, it will be more useful than doing those manually through the FluentBooks client. So, the online interface will allow you to do that. And then finally, for configuration administration, which is what we've been talking about today, the documentation, compare, audit, copy, and edit of the configuration itself will be achievable through the GAS interface. Now, if you need more of the heavier use cases for administration, like bulk updates of projects and bulk updates of resources, you will still need to have the client, and that will be a separate SKU. So for those of you that need the client or are currently using the client, for those use cases, you're going to want to maintain that within your subscription. And we'll have, when we launch in a month, we'll be announcing, how current customers can have access to GAS, and how both from FluentBooks customers and backup customers. Since we're out of time, I want to just open it up and see if there's some questions, and then we can go from there. Okay. So there's a question regarding the cost of FluentBooks, and I'm glad you asked that question. I actually had a slide on that. It's really based on the number of PWAs that you need to apply FluentBooks to. So literally, it's subscribed per PWA per tenant. So if you have one tenant with 2 PWAs, That's one subscription. 3, it can go up to actually 20, and believe it or not, we do have folks that have unlimited subscriptions because they are so excited with Project Online that they're connecting 20 different PWAs together. So, and if you have a specific inquiry on your number of PWAs, please let us know, and we will make that available. I don't want to issue pricing because we're about to change pricing for 2018. So if you do want if you want a specific quote for any of these levels, feel free to drop us a line at sales@fluentpro.com, and I personally will respond back. So thank you for the question. And with that, I will close the webinar. Thank you all for attending. And again, if you happen to have any questions, feel free to drop us a line or through our support desk. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thank you for your time today. Thank you all. Bye.